that was about it. Actually, four. Okay, perfect. I stand corrected. Previous time. Not bad. I appreciate that. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. It's lovely to see some smiling faces in this crowd. Places like volcanic systems or hydrothermal vents. We're not going to touch on acidic lakes today, but that's a really fun one. Anoxic environments where there's a lack of oxygen or very, very, very low amount of oxygen. And one of my personal favorites, the frozen wasteland. So, what extremophile? When I say the word extremophile, what does this make you think of? It's probably some extreme loving is what the word breaks down into. We all tend to know somebody who likes to take their life to the extreme, whether it is in their diet or their lifestyle or their habits. I have a few friends whose sleep schedule could probably be called extreme, even if they're being generous. So the extreme side is what we're going to be talking about. While these creatures may inhabit all sorts of different environments, what they really have in common is that they've evolved over time this under the conditions that they do, with different adaptations that allow them to not just survive, but to really thrive. In many cases, these animals have evolved in these environments over tens of millions, or maybe even hundreds of millions of years. The creatures we're talking today may not be alien. First, you can say it's adorable. He is a real, not a Pokemon. I promise you that much. This creature is called the scaly-footed snail, or sometimes the volcanic snail, or I prefer as the iron-born snail. And a bit of an nod to small different environments. Any guesses where we would find this animal? Based on the name volcanic snail. This creature here doesn't just live near volcanoes. It lives at the bottom of the ocean, the marine equivalent of volcanic ecosystem. The bottom of the ocean floor. You take 1.5 miles, so they're very good under pressure. We love it right off that. Water going for these stools glides along the ocean floor, the breeze, the currents of nearby hydrothermal vents. In some cases, these hydrothermal vents are that comes from 1.5 miles or 1,320 fathoms under the sea with barely any oxygen. Excellent, because it gets better. I haven't even told you the groundbreaking biology and physiology. So this, what you hear is a beautiful diagram as well as a cross-section of the shell that they have themselves. The shell of this snail has the only known animal on Earth that has managed to incorporate metal into their skeleton naturally. That outermost layer, that's black that you see on that diagram, comprised of iron sulfide, which is, of course, do we have any X-Men fans here? Biologically speaking, I actually think that they should have done the scaly snail instead of Wolverine. They wouldn't have to worry about adamantium and all that fun stuff. But give Hugh Jackman his due. He did pretty well. In any case, that outermost level of that alpha is mostly for distance. This is going to be past that up to stand a lot of pressure. So snails, one of their more common predators is going to be things that can crush them or bite into them. So crab claws or jaws, in this case jaws of fish potentially. What that middle layer of the shell does is it dissipates the pressure. It pushes it and it disperses it so that each individual point is receiving a little bit less of that impact and is less likely to crunch through, basically, and become a delicious escargot snack to whoever is trying to snack on them. The final layer, that much thinner layer, that's right close to the body itself, the foot of this animal, is going to be made of something called aragonite, which is a composite of calcium carbonate. The main reason that aragonite level is to help with heat dispersal. So since we're living in conditions that can get to be about 400 degrees Celsius or 750 Fahrenheit, they need that layer to help dissipate the actual heat, or this creature would get torched. Actually, of their body, along the bottom section of their body, basically looks like armor. We call these sclerites. Any guesses what these are for? These ones are going to be for defense. Well, potentially defense at the very least. Because these snails live at the bottom of the ocean under extreme conditions, it makes them a little bit more difficult to study than a lot of animals see on a day-to-day basis. Certainly difficult to study than the snails, the beautiful, lovely snails that we see every morning that it rains in Victoria. We love them, but they're not quite as extreme. So a lot of the ideas that we have about extremophiles, including the scaly-footed snail, are hypotheses, are possibilities as to what we want to explore. With this armor, with these sclerites that they have along their body, the first hypothesis is that they're for defense. Since it's made of iron, that iron sulfide, it would be good for helping protect their body, but not just protecting their body. This creature is also home to bacteria inside their body that we're going to go into and that we're going to digest a little bit further down the road. It's thought that because the conditions out from our bloodstream and from into our excretory system, it is hypothesized that the massive amounts of sulfur in the environment that the animal lives in can actually be compounded and excreted the setup of these overlapping scales or sclerates. Both of these ones are hypotheses at the moment. But doesn't mean that they don't hold some credence. What this boils down to is the actual bacteria inside the body of the snail. Now, we all have bacteria inside our body and outside the body. What makes it special is the way it has evolved to be crucial to this snail itself. This snail likely could not survive without this bacteria. And that's because this snail has food and a whole digestive system, but this creature has never been observed eating anything. They've dissected them in the lab, and there's been no remnant food inside their stomach. In fact, this creature here, their digestive system is only 10% the average gastropod's body mass, body volume of what the digestive system would take up. So severely reduced digestive system. On top of that as well, going the opposite side of things, their heart is it makes up about 4% of their overall body volume. Just for a bit of comparison, our heart is 1.3% of our overall body volume. So massive disparity in that. So down with the digestive system, up with the circulatory system, and up with the respiratory system. The gills that you see on the side here, which is where this creature would filter in water to bring in oxygen and different chemicals, different compounds. That takes up about 15.5% of their entire body volume. Both that heart and that gill are bumped in the water around the snail, get filtered in through that big muscular gill, as well as some oxygen, and it gets filtered through the open circulatory system of the snail over to the digestive gland. The digestive gland is home to this bacteria, and we think that what happens is that bacteria actually takes in those chemical compounds, specifically sulfur, and transfers them into energy, which is then transferred to the snail. So with our scaly-footed snail, already have a bunch of these different extreme environments. We've got volcanic or and 120 fathoms under the sea, as well as very high